Hey everybody! So, this is sort of a beginner's guide on how to do more damage, because I meet a lot of people in random dungeons I'm running, especially normal ones, who don't really know what they're doing, and they're just doing heavy attacks over and over and over and all. And here's a quick guide on how you get the most out of your DPS, and then later on we'll also go into a couple of tricks that help you if you already know your role and your rotation, but you just feel like you're stuck at the dummy and you can't really go anywhere with it. Okay, so first of all, you gotta decide whether you want to be a Magicka DPS or a Stamina DPS. Magicka DPS usually play Destruction staves, either Lightning or Flame staves, and Staminas usually play two-handers, dual wields, meaning dagger and axe, or two daggers, and a bow on the back bar. Right, and there you gotta adjust your attribute points into whatever you want to be. So if you want to be a Magicka DPS, put them all into Magicka, equip two Destruction staves. If you want to be a Stamina DPS, put them all into Stamina, and get daggers or a two-handed battle axe and the bow. There's also Munder Stones, obviously, which give you a boost to your damage. I think the general information at the moment is you can use the Shadow, increasing your critical damage. If your general crit, meaning your spell or weapon crit, depending on if you're a Magicka or Stamina DPS, is over 53% about. If it's under that, you want to get the Thief to boost your general crit. So, once you've chosen what you want to be, you gotta figure out a rotation. What that means is, you've got skills on your front bar and on your back bar. And you don't just randomly cast them. You don't go like, oh, I'll do this, and then I'll do one of these, and then maybe one of these, and maybe now one of these. No, there's actually a sense to it all, because you can do all the skills in a certain row, and that depends on how long the skills last. There's spammables, like Swallow Soul, for example, which are just instant damage. You do it, and it's done. Then there's other things like the Beast Trap, which lasts for 60 seconds, or the Wall of Fire, which lasts for 10 seconds, or the Twisting Path, which lasts for 12 seconds. You can see that in the duration here. And obviously you don't need to recast these things before they have run out, because they're still running. If you recast them before they run out, you pretty much just waste Magicka. So if this is 12 seconds and this is 10 seconds, I might want to do this first and then this, and then swap to my front bar and do a couple of these. And then my rotation in the end would look like this, then this, and then a couple of Swallow Souls, and then maybe a Beast Trap and swap. So you can like get the best duration out of your skills, and in between spam your spammables or reactivate buffs you might need to increase your damage done and not waste any Magicka on any skills that are already running. And that's pretty much what a rotation is. You can look them all up over the internet. I'm not going to go into that and explain a specific rotation for Nightblade or something right now. There are so many guides on rotations. There's a YouTuber out there called Skinny Cheeks who makes really, really great ones. Very easy ones too, that you can follow. Just look them up for whatever character you're running. He's probably got a good one out there. So it just really means that you're doing skills in a certain order, swapping bars, doing another skill in a certain order, a couple spammables, and then just rinse and repeat the whole thing. Now, a lot of people are doing this. Let's say my rotation is just, for the sake of explaining, Twisting Path, Dark Shade, Elemental Blockade. Then I swap to my front bar. I do a couple of Swallow Souls, let's say 5. And then a Beast Trap and I swap. Back to my back bar, and then the whole thing starts over again. Twisting Path, Dark Shade, Elemental Blockade, swap to the front bar, do 5 Swallow Souls, and a Beast Trap, and then I swap bars. And the whole thing is just rinse and repeat. Now, obviously that's not a good Nightblade rotation, because most of them are a bit harder. But for the sake of explaining, that's about how it works. And a lot of people that I meet, any character, any class, any race, that they're on tell me that they've looked up a rotation, they've learned it, and they still can't increase their damage. And that's not really about speed, it's more about rhythm. And there's a couple tricks to it that I'm trying to get into and explain right now. So, the first thing you want to do is a light attack between every skill. So it's not just the skills, it's not just Dark Shade, Twisting Path, Dark Shade, Elemental Blockade, Swallow Soul, Swallow Soul, Swallow Soul 5 times, and then a Beast Trap. It's a light attack in between each skill, and that really ups your damage immensely, because light attacks between the skills do a whole lot of damage. So, you want to go Twisting Path, light attack, Dark Shade, light attack, and then the Elemental Blockade, and on your front bar, light attack, Swallow Soul, light attack, Swallow Soul 5 times, light attack, Beast Trap, and then swap bars again. And that's where most people are stuck at, because most people understand the order of the skills in their rotation, and they do understand that there is a light attack in between each skill. And then they're just trying and trying to get faster with it and go like this, light attack, this, light attack, this, bar swap, light attack, Swallow Soul, light attack, Swallow Soul, light attack, Swallow Soul. But they're not really doing it in the right rhythm, and that's really where the secret lies, in my opinion. You gotta find the right rhythm, and that's where we're getting into light attack weaving. Because a light attack can be cancelled. A skill oftentimes can't unless you're bar swapping. Like, you can cancel a light attack by pushing a skill early, but you can't cancel a skill by pushing a light attack early, because the skill is just gonna have its animation no matter what. The only way you can cancel a skill is either bashing, like blocking and R2 to bash, or bar swapping. Bash cancelling is very hard, and that's something for very experienced players, in my opinion, because you really need to be on top of your game to get that done. So bash weaving would be, say, like this. If you look at that skill, it's called Siphoning Attacks. It's actually a buff, and it looks like this. If I do it without anything, he lifts the staff up in the air and then puts it down again, and you get the roll in there. But you can cancel it by blocking real quick and then bashing with R2 real quick, and then it looks like this. Oh, that was actually a light attack in there. And that's what they call bash weaving. If you cancel your skills and then do a bash real quick to cancel out the full animation. There's even sets, monster set. There's a monster set that gives you more damage if you do the bash. So for some classes or some very experienced players, that's actually a thing, and they do that. Just bash the target and cancel their skills out to save some time and get some extra damage. Other people just do it because skills take very long. A prime example for that, I think, is the Warden with the I can't remember the name of the skill, the one with the 3 bugs that come out of the ground, because that takes forever about, and you can just bash cancel that. But that is something for very experienced players. There's also other ways that are much easier that can improve your rotation a whole lot. And the first one would be, as I said before, light attack weaving. Now what does that mean? If you do a light attack, look at the animation. The guy shoots the little flame and puts his staff out all the way to the front and then slowly gets it back. And then it's over. From here to here. Now you can cancel that. You can cancel the light attack with a skill, not the skill with the light attack. So what you can do is get into some sort of galloping rhythm and do light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill. And then he doesn't do the full animation anymore, putting the whole stuff out, but he just barely moves his hands. The flame will still come out, but the skill is already there. And then it'll look like that. It's a sort of fast galloping sound. It's really like light attack skill, and then you wait for the skill to be over, and then light attack skill, like da-dum, 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 and then that's pretty much your light attack weaving. And that's really how you get a lot of damage, because the animation of a normal light attack takes about, what, 1.5 seconds? But the animation of a light attack within the weaving takes maybe not even half a second. And if you're taking down a 21 million target dummy, that's takes about 5 to 7 minutes to take down or so. It really makes a big difference, because you're doing light attacks between every skill. So 50% of the time you're doing light attacks, and 50% of the time you can save up to 1 second. And that just amounts to a whole lot of damage. Now, the way you can practice this, just do one skill first, and you'll see when you fuck it up or when you get it right. If you do it like this, you fucked it up, because he extended the staff all the way down to the front. If you do it like this, you're doing it right, because there's barely any animation in between the skill, but the fire still goes off. And you can really practice that even with self buffs like this. And once you've practiced it with one skill, just put another skill in there, and then try to rotate around it. Just like practice it one skill first, and then do another skill in there, and practice that. And just throw all your skills in there. Obviously, Twisting Path and Elemental Blockade are very long skills, so that will screw up your Galloping rhythm with the da-dum, da-dum, da-dum a little bit. But it's mainly important that you know to do this on your spammable, maybe Swallow Soul for Night Blades, or maybe Elemental Weapon if you got the Sigic Order skill line, or even the Flame Leash from the Dragon Knight, or anything really, or whatever the morph of Uppercut is called for the two-hander. I can't remember right now. However, this is how you practice your weaving. And if you don't have a buff to practice it with, just go to the target dummy and practice it on the actual spammable. Mine would be Swallow Soul here, and I would be on the dummy and be like... until I get the right speed. And I'll know when I'm doing it too fast, because when I'm doing it too fast, like now, he'll screw up the light attacks and everything will be weird. So that's when you're going too fast. But when you found your rhythm, like the fastest you can go without the skills being messed up, there it is. That was a bit too fast there. Then you know that's the speed you want to run your rotation in. That's kind of the speed of the Galloping rhythm, the dum, light attack skill, light attack skill, light attack skill, that you want to be in. Okay, and the second thing you can do, let me show you that with Elemental Weapon, because it makes it a lot more clearer. So Ele Weapon in itself does not do any damage, it just causes your next light attack, used within 2 seconds, to deal an additional almost 9k magic damage. That's why a lot of people use it. They pretty much just make their whole spammable damage with light attacks pushed by Elemental Weapon. So Elemental Weapon in itself just looks like this. It's just charging the staff. And then you can do charge staff, light attack, charge staff, light attack. Or if you weave it, you can go charge staff, light attack, staff, light attack, staff, light, staff, light, staff, light, staff, light, staff, light, staff, light. It's not really, it's lagging a little bit right now. But you know what I mean, you know? Like this. So you pretty much don't even see any light attack animation. He's just charging the staff all the time, and the flame comes out anyway. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time. So that's your weaving. You want to get into this Galloping rhythm, as I said a couple times now, and go like light skill, light skill, light skill, light skill. And just figure out your own timing. Do it as fast as you can, but don't do it too fast, because if you go too fast, it'll actually mess things up. So it shouldn't be faster than this, really. Light skill, light skill, light skill, Light skill. See, it's not even that fast. Just a lot of people get it messed up and then they do it too fast and it screws things up. Okay, now the second thing about rotations is animation cancelling by bar swapping. And that's also something that even if you're not that good on the dummy, can really help you get a lot more DPS out of your character. And why is that? Because there are certain skills that you usually have on the end of each bar of your rotation. That's because smart people who figured out the rotations know about this and put them on the end. That take quite a long time. And that's things like Beast Trap, for example, or Elemental Blockade. If you look at the animations of Elemental Blockade, he slams the staff down and then the blockade is there. It's quite a long thing, really. Same with Beast Trap. He puts a trap on the ground, it opens, and then it's over. Now what you can do is these skills still count if you cancel them, sort of, by bar swapping. And then you can already start your front bar rotation, even though you haven't watched the full animation of the Elemental Blockade. And how you do that is you don't do Elemental Blockade, swap, and then start. You kind of do it in the same galloping rhythm like the dumb. Elemental Blockade, bar swap. And do it like in a fast order. So then it looks like this. I'm already on my front bar. You didn't even really see much, except for the staff maybe hit the ground, but I was already in my front bar by then. Like this. You can practice this too, even on your own. It's button-wise, it's like a click. Da-dum. 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 And it saves a lot of time, really. Believe it or not, but whether you watch the whole thing, bum, dum, and then swap, or whether you go like da-dum, and can already start with your front bar rotation, saves a lot of time. Same thing with Beast Trap. If you're a Magicka DPS and you're running Beast Trap, you probably have it in the last spot on your front bar rotation. So you do your spammables or whatever you need to apply. And then you go Beast Trap. But you don't go Beast Trap, swap. You want to do it like this. Da-dum. You didn't even see his arm reach the ground, but the trap is still there, as you can see. Da-dum. There's the trap. It worked. And I'm already on my back bar. And if you can end your back bar rotation like this, and your front bar rotation like this, you're saving a lot of time. You're saving probably about a second or over a second every time you swap bars, which is a whole lot if you're going for like 5 to 7 minutes on this big guy here. So in the end, what you want to do is take care of your bar swapping and cancel out the animations there by going da-dum, 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 click, click. And doing the weaving, where you don't do the whole light attack animation, but you cancel it out with your skill. You go like light skill, light skill, light skill. And then if you get that all done, you can get a really good rotation going. Like this, quick swap, weaving, quick swap, doing my AoEs, quick swap, weaving, quick swap. And that is what you really want to practice. When you know your rotation, that is what you want to practice, because the more flawless you'll get this, in the best timing you can do, with the best rhythm you can do, the higher your DPS will be. And you won't believe it, but I've done rotations where I felt like I've pretty much done the same thing, and one of them came out with like 72k, the other came out with 76k. It really makes a difference. The tiny things, if you're going for like 5 minutes on that guy, the less you screw up and the better you do your bar swaps and your weaving, the higher your DPS outcome will be. And even if it just dies 20 seconds quicker or something, you might have like 4k more or 5 or 6k more. So that is what you need to practice, and I hope that was helpful, that video. It's mostly really, never mind the bash weaving and stuff, that's really advanced techniques that you can do when you're really safe on your actual rotation. But the quick bar swaps like this, and then the weaving, of cancelling the light attacks with skills, and then quick bar swaps, that actually makes a difference. Also keep in mind that when you bar swap, it will take a little bit of time until you can do your next light attack, and you should open your front bar rotation with a light attack. So if you're coming from blockade, you do the quick swap, you need to wait a tiny bit until you can fire off your next light attack. If you're too fast, and you go like bar swap, cancel, light, you won't do it. Or he'll do it delayed anyway. And by that time, you've already pushed the skill button. That's what the problem usually is. So it takes a while. And if I go on with my rhythm, like da-dum, da-dum, when I just swap to my front bar, my light attack won't really count. And then my rhythm will be screwed up, because then my first da-dum will be on the actual skill, whereas that should be on the second one. But you'll figure that out if you try it on the dummy and train a little bit. You do the fast swap, wait a second, and then go on with the light attack. Because if not, as I just said, the fast bar swap, light attack, skill, okay, that was still in the tempo. But if you're doing it too fast, your light attack will fail, and your skill will be on the wrong beat of the rhythm, sort of, and it will screw up your rotation. So just try and practice that. I really hope that was sort of helpful. It's not the mecca of all DPS rotations, but it's what I figured when I tried to get mine up, my DPS, and tried to get a little bit better. That was the two things that really helped me. Practicing light attack weaving in between the skills, practicing it with one skill first, then with different skills, and then in my rotation, and then the fast bar swaps, and then the tiny wait that you have to do when you swap from your back bar to your front bar for the first light attack, just so you can stay in the rhythm, sort of. Alright, I really hope this was helpful, and I really hope you can reach the goal you have set for yourself, and have a good week. See ya.